All right, let's get into a story that feels like it's from two different worlds at once. We're talking about Carlo Acutis, a modern-day teenager. I mean, just look at this. This is probably not the picture that pops into your head when you think of a saint, right? We're talking about a kid who loved his computer and wore sneakers. And honestly, it's that contrast that makes his story so absolutely fascinating and for a lot of people, really, really relatable. So you have to ask, how does this happen? How does a regular kid from Italy, a teenager who loves video games and gets the nickname God's influencer, end up on the path to the highest honor in the Catholic Church? Well, let's break it all down. To really get who Carlo was, we've got to start from the beginning. In so many ways, he was just a normal kid for his time. But even from a super young age, it was clear there was something else going on, something truly different about him. So this timeline really gives you a snapshot of his life, which was incredibly short, but wow, so impactful. He was born in 91, and get this, he found this deep faith all on his own, even though his parents weren't very religious at the time. By 11, he's already starting his life's biggest project. And then, just like that, only 4 years later, he was gone. And here's the thing that's so amazing. His faith wasn't just some private thought. No way. It was all about action. He was the kid who would stand up for other kids being bullied. He'd use his own allowance to buy sleeping bags for homeless people. He even put a limit on his own video game time to just 1 hour a week. And his devotion was so real, so powerful, that it actually inspired his own parents to come back to the faith. This quote from his mom, Antonia, really just nails his whole worldview, doesn't it? He truly believed that every single person was an original masterpiece. And that's the belief that was behind all of his incredible kindness. Now that deep sense of caring for others connected perfectly with his other big passion, technology. See, Carlo didn't see the internet as just a distraction. He saw it as a massive new opportunity for his faith. This is really how he became known as the cyber apostle. And this was the observation that sparked it all. You know, he's looking around and he sees people lining up for concerts, for soccer games, and he thinks, why isn't that same energy, that same passion here for the thing that matters most to me? And he decided he was going to use his skills to do something about it. So what did he do? Starting when he was just 11 years old, he began this massive project to research and catalog Eucharistic miracles from all over the globe. The scale of it is just mind-blowing. He documented over 150 of them. And listen, we're not talking about some simple blog here. Carlo taught himself how to code and built this really sophisticated multi-language website. It was basically a virtual museum, all organized, easy to search, with resources that a church anywhere in the world could just download and use. It just perfectly shows his vision, using the newest tools to share an ancient faith. So after he passed away in 2006, these stories about him and his impact just started to spread like wildfire. And that's when the formal process for sainthood began. So how does that whole thing actually work? Okay, so the Catholic Church has this very careful step-by-step process. First, a person can be named venerable if they're recognized for a life of heroic virtue. Carlo got that in 2018. The next step up is beatification, which makes you blessed. But for that, you need one verified miracle. He checked that box in 2020. And the final step to become a full saint requires a second miracle. Once that was approved for Carlo in 2024, the path was totally clear for him to be canonized. So what were these miracles? Well, the Vatican investigated and confirmed two really extraordinary events. The first involved a young boy in Brazil who was healed from a life-threatening pancreatic defect in a way that doctors just couldn't explain. The second was the sudden, complete recovery of a student in Costa Rica from a devastating brain injury after an accident. And the crucial part here is that in both of these cases, their families and friends were praying specifically to Carlo. to get distracted, his life is this incredible example of what it looks like to live with real intention.